for the agenda here is the approval of the October 21st meeting agenda. Is there any changes, questions?
Yes, thank you. Mayor, members of the council, just one change from me, or really update to other business 11A, the voucher disbursement report. Council was emailed this report earlier, and there's a printed copy tonight if anyone wants to view it, but we're just adding that report to this agenda for tonight. And that's my one update.
Excellent. All right. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I move that we approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Pursuant to council rules, one motion, non-debatable, will approve the recommendation noted. Any member of the council may ask for an item to be taken from the consent agenda for discussion and separate action. Such items removed from the consent agenda shall be considered immediately following the approval of the balance of the consent agenda. Any questions?
To pull item B.
All right, item B, that is Parks and Recreation and Forestry Commissioner resignations. Okay. Yep. Council, any other? No. All right.
Hearing none, I will move that we approve the balance of the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no or nay. All right. So, should we talk about this, or do I need to go through what we just approved? Sorry, I just lost track of order. Why don't you go first?
Yeah, so I just wanted to, there are two Parks and Rec commissioners that are resigning, and I just wanted to thank them for their service. Aaron Sparks and Mark Laverty. Not sure how to pronounce his last name, sorry. But thank you so much for your service to Robbinsdale, and good luck in your future endeavors. So with that, I will move to approve
Tonight's consent agenda.
the consent agenda.
There we
yeah.
go. Yeah, it's been a tough day already.
That's okay.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. All right, consent agenda has been approved. What did we approve? We approved City Council meeting minutes from October 7th, 2025. The Parks and Recreation and Forestry Commissioner resignations. Thank you for your service. We rescinded an award of contract for Sanborn Park Tennis and Pickleball Courts, project number 23625. We approved the PUPS facility expansion and member city reinvestment. We approved the Tasty Foods truck at Hy-Vee, and we also approved some licenses. So let's move on to presentations.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. So what you have in front of you here, 2025 Domestic Violence Awareness Month proclamation. This is an item some folks who work in this realm have reached out to the city and asked if we would be willing to share this out. This is an item that, unfortunately, one of those that sharing the awareness can provide a variety of positives, that resources out there for individuals who may be facing this type of situation. I do want to call a couple things out in your proclamation here. I know that council typically likes to recognize a few items as well. Mission Inc. Programs is an entity that we mentioned specifically. This is an organization that's served Northwest Hennepin County since 1980. Statistics that they've shared with us, approximately 1 in 3 women and 1 in 10 men. 18 years and older experience domestic violence in their lifetime, and annually domestic violence is responsible for over 1,500 deaths in the United States. So certainly some sombering items within, but again, the awareness effort, both by way of you as a council recognizing this proclamation, and then through our communication channels getting out, will hopefully lead to some positives for individuals out there, again, in these situations.
Excellent. Council, anything to add? Sure. Yes,
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Tim, for that introduction. Thank you for including the call out to Missions Inc. Yeah, it's an important subject to shed light on. I mean, I think a lot of people know victims of domestic violence. And I'm just glad that we're recognizing it and calling it out and providing a place for folks that end up reading this or seeing our posts about it on social media, that there is help for them, and that, don't feel ashamed about it if you've experienced it. And there's a lot of support for you, including, just on a personal level, the 5 of us up here to see you and want what's best for you. And I hope you can get these resources if you need that help. So thank you for recognizing this, staff, for taking the time to put this together, and for the council to move this forward as well.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I am very grateful to staff for putting this proclamation together. I will certainly support in favor of this proclamation, and also wanted to thank the work that Missions Inc. does to our community and beyond. And I just wanted to highlight, among the resources that they provide, they also have a 24-hour-a-day confidential hotline, among other resources, including shelter support, and also information on how folks can support others who may be experiencing domestic violence. So again, very much willing to support this proclamation, and thanks again to staff and Missions Inc. That's all from me.
Thank you, ma'am. Other members, anything?
Yeah, I just want to echo my councilor sentiments as well. And then just to reiterate that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 10 men 18 years of age and older experience domestic violence. So check on your people and just be mindful of how people may be experiencing. And like I said, Mission Inc. does offer support in identifying to be able to support individuals who find themselves in that position.
Okay. Yeah, staggering statistics, and glad that the city is calling attention to this. I'm happy to sign in support of this, so thank you.
I will make a motion to adopt the 2025 Domestic Violence Awareness Month proclamation.
And I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. It's signed. Okay. Thank you very much, and appreciate the city bringing that to our attention. Okay, public hearings. There are none. Old business, a second reading of ordinance 2512, amending sections of the Robbinsdale City Code relating to electric vehicle charging stations and solar energy systems.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. So again, the item here in front of you is the second reading for ordinance 25-12. I'll be brief on this item. We've spoken about it at length. For a couple of reasons. It's on your old business. Typically, this might be on consent, but at the first reading, it passed at a 4-1. And with this type of ordinance change, we do require 4/5 approval to go forward. So I will recommend a roll call vote, just so we have that for the record here tonight. At a high level, working backwards, the first reading was again on September 16th. That was following a September 9th work session discussion. And staff originally introduced this to the Planning Commission in July on the 17th. And at that point, there were some good questions, some good discussion as to caveats and how things would work out. Again, fully discussed with you as a council. Those items were brought back to the August 21st Planning Commission, and they ultimately unanimously voted to recommend that council approve language changes. Again, this part of code has 2 main areas that we're looking to update. We're really looking to reduce any barriers for solar installation. There was a process before that certainly allowed for it, but this is essentially, again, just fewer hoops to jump through. It also requires a minimum number of EV charging stations in new and reconstructed parking lots of 50 spaces or more. We'll call out that there are caveats within specific to financing. If it's brought to our attention that it exceeds certain thresholds, the requirement would be waived. But again, this is an item that you as a council, by giving staff direction that sustainability and those types of efforts are a priority, staff had made this recommendation to updating code. Certainly on the comparison to some of our communities, I would say this is again in the theme of making some of those things easier, and then on the other side the requirements aren't as stringent as some of our neighbors, but does show that we are supportive of these types of efforts. So again, staff's recommendation is a roll call vote, but before you get there, happy to respond to questions, comments, or concerns.
Council, any comments, questions, or concerns? Well, I will continue to beat my drum that I do not think we need to mandate charging stations going in these new developments. I think it's a non-essential task to assign somebody from the city, which there is a cost to that, to maintain, make sure these EV stations are maintained, make sure they're being installed properly, make sure the paperwork is done. However, I know I'm the lone person on this one. I do appreciate the removal of barriers and the work that's being done around solar. I mean, we saw the numbers last week in the work session. EV adoption ain't a problem up around here. It's actually gone much further and much faster than we anticipated it. So mandating that people put in chargers, like say developers that are creating housing for people who maybe want to attract all types of people, I would think they would want to put in EV chargers, and the developers I've talked to said they will. So I think we're making a task where one isn't needed, but I will support this in the spirit of the other half of the amendment. So that's all I got to say. Any other questions?
I don't think so. With that, I think I'll make a motion to hold the second reading of ordinance number 25-12, amending sections 505, 510, 515, 517, 520, and 525 of the Robbinsdale City Code.
Second.
All those in favor, well, we need a roll call vote, right? So,
Mr. Mayor, Council, if I may, Councilmember Greenberg, would you be willing to amend your motion to include a roll call vote?
Yes, please.
Councilmember Blackledge,
Yes.
Councilmember Greenberg,
Yes.
Councilmember Parisian,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Mayor Sutton.
yes, yes, aye. All right. New business. Accepting grant for PFAS planning. Exciting stuff. Honestly, it is. It's a good looking grant.
Mr. Mayor and council members, good evening. This particular report is kind of a bad news, good news type thing. Council is probably aware of the man-made chemicals, PFAS, that have been out there in the media and what have you. Originally developed kind of just after the war, or during and just after the war. And they're in a whole range of different products. They're in your microwave popcorn, they're in waterproofing, non-stick applications on your frying pans, the floss that you clean your teeth with, firefighting foams, and cosmetics, amongst many others. So these particular man-made chemicals, studies have found that they're not good to have in your water, because there are some health effects that could flow on over time. So the chemicals themselves are really challenging to remove out of water treatment, as they just pass through all of the current methods that we use for water treatment. They have to have specific treatment done to break the long bonds that they have. So the state has required us to test for PFAS in all of our wells and at our treatment plant. And the acceptable thresholds for those limits has been getting lower and lower over the years, and I'm talking orders of magnitude lower, not just halving. They have been reducing by orders of 100, 1,000, and what have you. So the current standard that was adopted by the EPA earlier this year is 4 parts per trillion. It's 4 nanograms per litre. It's equivalent to having 4 drops in an entire swimming pool. So that is the limit that they're setting, which is barely above detectable limits with technology that we have. So the bad news is that they've found some of this material in our drinking water. And it's just above the limit of 4. So as a result, we have to do something about that. And the way they've established the rules is that we have to be in compliance with everything by April of 2029. So in order to figure out what to do about this, there's a number of different treatments out there at the moment. We have to look at, well, what's best for the city of Robbinsdale, given our low concentrations and the amount of water that we generate every year. The good news is we're not on the east side of town, where the old dumps were for 3M and what have you. Their PFAS numbers are, off the charts, so they really have to get in and do something about that water. So what we need to do is we need to do a feasibility study, and we need to do some piloting using different methods to see which one would best suit us. Now, luckily, the MPCA has made grants available to do this work. So we applied for one, and we were successful in obtaining a grant for about $2.8 million, which is no small sum of money. So it's a reimbursement grant, so the idea is we would be carrying out work, or a consultant for us would be carrying out work. We would pay the bill, and then we'd submit that bill to the state, and we would get reimbursed for what has been spent. It's expected that $2.8 million will be able to do all of the feasibility work, all of the pilot testing, and get us to a point where City Council can make a decision on which way to go to implement a solution that would allow us to be in compliance. Hopefully by then the state, the federal government, or some other sources will have some money available to help us implement the particular solution, because none of these options are cheap. We actually have it reflected in your 10-year CIP at the moment for quite a large sum of money. Again, that's a bit of a placeholder, not knowing exactly what our solution will be at this time. We do have some involvement in some class actions against some of these companies that made these chemicals, and we have already received one payment as a result of that, in the order of about $600,000. So that's good. That money will be set aside to use for whatever the solution will be down the track. So in order to get this process going, the initial step is to have City Council formally accept the grant. The typical document that the PCA provides has been going back and forward between our City Attorney, the Attorney General, and all people in between to try and get the language sorted out that is acceptable to both parties, and we are now at that point. So at this stage we are seeking, we've included a resolution accepting the grant from the MPCA in the amount stated, and then to authorise staff to sign the document so that we can get things rolling.
Excellent. Questions? Comments? Aaron?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Richard. I know this is all like really preliminary, and you haven't, without this funding and all this other stuff, the ability to test this is kind of coming down the pipe, I guess, to use a pun. But do you have a sense of like the testing for this, like how intrusive that might be to, the water infrastructure? Like, will residents notice or need to notice or need to have notice of this testing when it takes place?
The testing itself, they just take samples of water from various locations, and it's mainly from the wells and at the outlet of the treatment plant. So we've already been testing for a number of years, so there is no interruption to supply. Residents don't know any difference. as we implement the recommended solution, residents won't know any difference either. I mean, at 4 parts per trillion, I would challenge anybody to, give someone a glass with 4 parts per trillion and one with none in it, and you tell me which one's got the PFAS in it. You won't be able to tell the difference.
Gotcha.
But it will be working passively in the background to get that stuff out.
Which our equipment is already, in a position to implement this reduction of.
We don't know yet.
Don't know yet. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Because we don't know whether granular activated carbon or IX resin or powdered carbon in the filters, we don't know which of the options is the best for our city. That's why we need to go through this feasibility and the piloting. So they will actually use water coming through the system, and they'll run it through little test beds that they set up in the plant, and they will be monitoring the water that comes out to see how it performs.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
That is a question. Our water treatment facility is relatively new, and it sounds like, even just understanding what the best solution might be is going to be expensive to figure out. But does it sound like we have to fundamentally change everything about the water treatment facility that we just built, or is it more of like we're adding something in and that will have an expense?
I am hopeful that we can figure a solution that will require minimal mucking around at the plant. There's so many permutations and combinations of what you could do. You could take the raw water and run it through a treatment system before it even gets to the plant. That's one option. That would potentially allow us to do something off-site, do it at the wells. Then, the other option is you do something in the plant to treat the water. And, any combination of anywhere from the raw water to the finished water, you can intercede and do this treatment to achieve your goals. So we don't know what the best position to take is. We're hoping that this will help clarify that. I've got lots of ideas in my head, but we've got to test them all out.
I appreciate that. One other question that I have is just around with North Memorial potentially coming online. Does any of this impact that timeline or?
No, right now we're in compliance.
Okay.
And as long as April 2029 we remain in compliance, there should be no issue.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Richard. If I am recalling correctly, there have been past discussions related to the plot of land north of the water treatment plant for potentially some needs around PFAS treatment. Is that still in scope for this?
The short answer is yes.
Okay.
That might be an ideal location if we would do that option of intercepting the raw water before it gets to the plant.
Okay.
But I don't know whether that's the best option.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
Any other questions? I have one. Who helped secure the grant?
It was us and the consultants that helped do the design initially for the plant. We worked together to submit the grant.
Well, thank you for that. Almost $8 million is no small chunk of change, and I'm glad and thankful to the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency for helping us with this. I think the key thing to call out here is that you said is that we are in compliance today.
Yes.
Right.
And then compliance changes on April 29th, essentially, right?
Well, in April 2029.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, April 2029. So.
Yeah, and I think the very, very low level threshold that they've set, they have to give. We're not the only city that's impacted by this.
Right.
Thousands of cities across the country are impacted by this. So you have to give time for folk to sort this stuff out. And the fact that, when we went through the design process for the plant, I think the criteria was like 17 milligrams per liter or something like that was the threshold. So they have reduced it by orders of magnitude.
Yeah. Yep. Excellent. Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I can make a motion, waive the reading, and order the adoption of the attached resolution, a resolution accepting the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency grant in the amount of $2,793,300 for PFAS planning, and authorize staff to sign the document.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no or nay. All right. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other business, voucher requests pending approval for disbursement. Any discussion needed there?
I will make a motion that we approve the voucher requests.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say no or nay. Okay. Approved. Administrative reports.
I'll just give a little clarifying report. This came to our attention earlier this week about the election is on our next council meeting, and although Robbinsdale doesn't have an election, if we were to, we couldn't hold a public meeting on an election day. But because we don't have an election, we are still allowed to hold our normally scheduled council meeting on November 4th. So just wanted to make sure if anyone has questions about that, that we are good to go for our next meeting. And that's the only update I have tonight.
Chase. Tim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. A few updates. On a somber note, I want to share out those that were involved in the city 20 plus years ago. Richard Gangelhoff, who served as the finance director for 25 years, retired in the early aughts, unfortunately passed away at the end of September. Was able to touch base with his family here earlier in the week. I just want to share all our condolences to the family again. 25 years as the finance director in any capacity, certainly wonderful. But in my position, as you dig back and you have to look for that obscure record or you look for that document or such and such, you come across these names. And to make a connection with the family was nice. But we share our condolences, certainly with the family, with Richard's passing at the end of September. A few other updates, and this one will take me just a moment, so please bear with me. Staff has continued to work with Republic as we're working to figure out some yard waste mitigation, begin to the back end. We will start to share this out through our communication channels, but this just was coming together here today. So I want to share it out for those that maybe are watching on the channel or watch the recording here down the road. Right now, yard waste collection is scheduled to cease at the end of November, but we've come to an agreement where the week of December 1st through the 5th, that's a Monday through Friday, Republic Services will make a final run through all yard waste routes with extra trucks, up to 4 to 5 per route for each day. This will include collection of yard waste that is set out properly on the resident's normal collection day, weather pending, and I'll get to that, with a maximum of 25 bags per household will be allowed. Want to share this with the caveat that we continue to encourage people to stay on top of the best they can. There's still an option for a second bin. If that's something you're looking to do, please call sooner than later because it may take a bit of time to get there. But a second bin with those additional 5 bags, please utilize as best you can. All routes will be verified to ensure that trucks run through each street and alley to make sure that full completion again by way of day is done. And then Friday the 5th of December, yard waste services will be complete and yard waste trucks will remain retired until we get to the spring. In the spirit of partnership, Republic's been very fair, and this will see no direct cost by way of utility billing. This is, as we've been discussing, will plan on be a one-time thing. Council's been supportive to get through this year to be able to do this. But I think a lot of what we've been concerned about, especially with the residents, both at work sessions and council meetings, I think this addresses a lot of the concerns. The weather pending, and again, this will be part of the comms that we'll get out, the compost disposal facility needs to remain open, and we have in writing that it will. That's been part of the issue in the past. Where our materials have gone to either Maple Grove or a secondary site, and they advertise even now that they close at the end of November. But we found an additional site that Republic's willing to work with, again, for this one-time thing. The weather pending other item is inclement weather that prevents drivers, obviously, from driving safely. So if we get a foot of snow, which we certainly could, that would not allow us to safely go through this process. If a delay or if there was a process that were to push and allow something like that, we would still need to compensate for things like freezing rain, sleet, heavy snowfall, by way of access of the bags. So the rule of thumb is if you can't access the bag, neither can the driver. Again, we're going to have to work on some of this communications, but staff is grateful to Republic for working with us on this. It's certainly been a number of weeks, and I appreciate everybody's patience, getting through. The last couple items, I want to note that Manor Park continues in the process that we described, and we got a couple of calls, new equipment hopefully going in soon. And then the Sanborn Park renaming process, we've gotten a few calls here at City Hall. I'm sure some council members will revisit our most recent discussion at the work session, but do want to share out that we maintain a page on the city website, and we'll keep putting out through our normal communications, including social media, the Birdtown Brief, and otherwise.
Boy, Tim, that's great. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Nice work. Thank you because that was no short effort on your part and positive our staff's part. So, okay. Well, with that, should we move on to general council communications? I just like looking at you because I know you like to go. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, thanks for that work, Tim, and to the staff getting that. With that agreement with Republic, so that's huge. And I guess you answered my question about Manor Park already, and my assumption is that the equipment's going in before it freezes. Okay, he's giving me a head nod. That's a good sign. And I don't know. I guess I just wanted to give a thanks to. I guess Halloween's coming up. We're not going to have a meeting before then, so have a safe and fun Halloween, everybody. And also just to the council in general, I appreciated our discussion, particularly around the EV solar panel discussion. It's a good example of like how, in my mind, that government should work and that you can come to an agreement and a consensus and kind of put those things above some kind of like, not that we're partisan or whatever, but it's like you feel like every level of government, if I operated like this, I feel like we'd be in a much better spot as a country, but maybe that's a little too grandiose to say about a simple change to ordinances. But I just wanted to express my continued enjoyment of being a member of this council and, serving Ward 4. But I'll leave it there.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. I will simply echo my thanks to Tim and staff for that update on the Republic. That's really great news. Understanding that a lot of work and input from all angles have culminated in what I think is a really effective solution. So thank you very much. And that's all for me tonight.
Thanks. Jason, you want to go next?
Yeah. So I also want to thank Tim and city staff for the hard work on the news on Republic, and excited to get those communications out to residents so they can hear about it as well. There is a meeting tomorrow night at Elam that is cultural placekeeping. So if you have pride for Robbinsdale and you want to make sure Robbinsdale's cultural placekeeping is represented, as it relates to the Blue Line extension and our stations in Robbinsdale. That's tomorrow night from 5 to 7:30, as well as November 19th from 5 to 7:30. And we do need people and residents to represent and share our pride in Robbinsdale. And I think Councilmember Parisian and I will be there tomorrow night. So hopefully we'll see you there. And then I know it's, I'm not trying to be partisan either, but was excited to see that, there were a lot of people out in Robbinsdale on Saturday in Lakeview Terrace Park, using their freedom of speech and just I heard a lot of response that people felt great about that. I know that's not everyone's opinion, so that's fine too. But it's good that people were out there and the park went to good use and just, felt like our community came together in a good way. So I want to give a shout out to that as well. That's all from me.
Okay. Councilmember Blackledge.
Yes, thank you. A lot of really awesome things have already been stated. So, like I said, once again, Tim, team, thank you so much for listening and hearing and then being responsive to that. I think this as a community, this goes to show like we're here to serve and to really try to make things easier and more intentional around like as a community of the city, like what can we do to support you as residents and neighbors. So I think this is a huge testament to that and continued support that we have for you all as well too. Yeah, just wanted to echo some of the sentiments as well too around Halloween and just everything else that we've done as a council. As I reflect briefly on my last 10 months as a council member, it's been a really truly great experience. I do want to continue just to ask that if you have questions, comments, concerns, or just want to chat and get to know us, like please reach out. We are accessible. I know that everyone in this council is available to meet and get out there in the community in a very special way. So yeah, feel free, give me a call. My number is attached to everything. Shoot me an email. We'll love to meet and talk about things. And do want to say thank yous to those who have done that thus far and allowing me to meet with you and just kind of talk about, the vision that you have for Robbinsdale's future as well too, but also the great things happening. So it's been very positive. As always, just get out and meet your neighbors, especially as we talk about the festivities coming up. Just remember there are young people outside having fun, enjoying themselves. So just drive a little slowly if you can and be mindful around, everyone out and about. So thank you again.
Great. I don't have anything to add to that. It was all good stuff. So why don't we just go ahead and wrap it up and see you next month. So is there a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no or nay. Meeting adjourned.